Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pinoy News. Man, listen, all right. So Andrew Tate and Piers Morgan, well, Andrew Tate went on Piers Morgan's show like a day or two ago. And I'm not sure. There's people over going like, yo, Andrew Tate smashed Piers Morgan. I don't really think he did, because I think like he kind of milly mouthed his way through the fucking interview. But I wanted to bring you a clip of this. That's about like 10, 15 minutes long. I'm kind of like just there's some parts of this that I think that he should have had stronger stances on, number one. And number two, it's shit that we've said a lot of times, right? That like if you just hold the line and go like, yeah, I absolutely believe this. You know what I mean? It would completely like go, all right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's not fucking misogynist to say this shit. It's just literally like, yo, this is how things are supposed to work. And then you can break down the societal aspect of like what the real deal is. But like he either A, isn't intelligent enough to do this, or B, like he doesn't want to come off the wrong way. And I feel like Andrew Tate is kind of like a midwit in the end of the day. So all right, let's get down to this little motherfucker. I'll chime in.
That 500 people see and 1% of them misunderstand it, that's not a problem. If I make a video that 5 million people see and 1% of them understand.
So specifically on that point, I think my sister is her husband's property.
She took his last name. She married him. She wanted to join his family. She has said it herself.
Right, so
she's still a sovereign individual. She's absolutely not a sovereign individual.
Property means that the husband owns your sister.
Listen, my friend, if you want to argue about this, we need to go back to the Bible, to the Quran. You need to argue with.
Yes, the answer is yes. That's his property, right? Like, she is not my responsibility anymore, right? So, like, it's on this level of where, like, so if something bad happens to her, something bad happens to their whole family, right? So, therefore, she is his responsibility. She is his property. That's the mentality. Like, yo, he's responsible for her. So, yes, she is his property in the end of the day. Right? That's what you're signing this motherfucking marriage thing for. Like, legitimately, right? It's kind of that mentality of this, like, so there's a reason they have spousal support and alimony. It's because of the fact that, like, it's like you're building a building, right? And then, like, the building is kicks you out. And then the state has to take care of the building. Is kind of the deal, right? Because like you signed up to take care of this building, right? And like you said, yeah, this is my building, I want it. And then like, yo, you leave that building, or the building says they don't want you there anymore, whatever the case is. Like the building's still there, right? And they go, well, it's not an actual sovereign human being in the end of the day, because like, you know, if it was, we wouldn't have a conversation about like, you know, oh man, they need to be fucking supported after fucking a marriage and shit, right? Because like the mentality that they have is that, oh, well, they're not really, you know what I mean, like full grown adults, you know what I mean? They have to have somebody to take care of them. So we give them fucking money, right? And like dudes are responsible for them even after the marriage. So therefore, yes, like that's your property while you're married, right? And then it becomes the property of the state afterwards. That's the whole mentality and shit. Let's keep going.
Religious.
No, I'm not talking about anything in the Bible or Quran.
But that's what it says.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I think that if a woman marries a man and she decides to take his last name, that they have different roles and responsibilities within that marriage, and I believe that.
That's not the question.
I believe the father. The father hands her.
Don't behave like a politician.
The father hands her to the man.
Right, but don't be a politician, because I think you're a straight talker, sure. Right? You keep telling me you're a straight talker. I think my sister is her husband's property. Do you regret saying it like that?
I understand that with my newfound fame, perhaps it could be phrased differently. However, I still believe that a woman.
The answer is no. The answer is like no, right? But again, like literally this dude, so here's the problem, right? So Andrew Tate's like, I've been on the internet a long time. Like, yo, so have I, right? And I've been talking about this shit forever. So like, we know how to argue these points. Like, it's a really simple thing to argue these points with people. And like, yo, and individuals will stand here. And when you have these conversations, you go, all right, yo, look, let's have a conversation, not a debate, not, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm defending myself from some charges, right? But like, there's a way of being charismatic about this and being able to explain this to a level of a dude, to explain this to a person to go, okay, look, my sister is her husband's property. Right, in the end of the day. And my father chose to give her to him, right? Actually, really, in reality, you know what I'm saying? Like, I chose to do so. You know what I mean? Because I became, you know what I mean, the master of the household as far as things are concerned. and like the patriarch of the family, because there was nobody else but me at that time. So like I made a decision, you know what I mean, to allow a dude to stand here and, you know what I mean, like marry my sister. So therefore, like if he, you know what I mean, like fucks up, or if like she fucks up, it's his problem, right? It's not mine anymore. She's not part of the family. And this is kind of like the whole point and shit. Let's keep going though.
It's given to the man in marriage. That's what I believe.
Yeah, but not as property.
No, the property is the word that other people use when they ask me the question.
But as an equal partner in a...
Not an equal partner. No. Right? No. Okay, legitimately, like, so if you're getting married to a female who you're not intending to have children with, that's a whole different animal, right? That's not something you should conversate about. Like that's, y'all are having a partnership, right? For whatever reason. I have no idea why you would get married if you don't have fucking kids. That's just dumb, right? But like, if you're getting married and like you have children together, right? You're getting married so that like, yo, your kids have a structure that has a family support structure, right? And has all these things around them, right? So therefore, like you're standing here being responsible for her and the offspring that come out of her vagina, which when she marries you said that that's going to be only your offspring, right? And that's what the whole purpose of this relationship is in the end of the day. Like, this is not a hard thing to explain. Why is this so difficult for people to just say and go like, this is what this is, and this is what I believe this should be? Simple, basic, right? Like, it's a very simple thing. Well, let's keep rocking though.
Loving union. That's what marriage actually means. It doesn't mean that when you get married, the woman is given to you as a bit of chattel.
Agreed.
So why?
No, like it is given, like, yo, basically you're going, all right, it's going to a child, right? Is brought up by parents, right? And that female child is given away, right? Once she reaches maturity and adulthood and whatever structure your society is, and is given away by the father to the husband, right? So literally it's a transferring of the responsibility for that female to a husband. She's literally property. She's a prize. She is something that you have earned. That is property. Like, it's not that difficult to get into, man. Listen, like, it's a very basic thing. And it's not chauvinistic to say this. That's how our society views it, right? And it's not the mentality of like, oh, dudes are better than women. It's nothing like that. It has everything to do with the fact that this is legally how our society sees it. Let's keep going.
Say it.
But that's the way that people ask me the question. People say to me, they ask the question.
You can't blame people for asking you questions. Surely, if you want to be accountable for what you've said, you've got to own your responses, not blame the question.
I own the response.
You know, me ask you a question now, and you say something, and then say, well, actually, I blame you for asking.
I understand, Piers. Piers, I understand. I believe the woman is given to the man. I believe she's given away by the father. I believe she belongs to the man. So
fundamentally, you do believe that a woman becomes a man's property in marriage.
I believe she belongs to the man in marriage, correct.
Right. Oh, you see, that to me is misogyny.
And you're entitled to your opinion.
Right. But do you not understand why people...
That's not misogyny, right? If she leaves because you fuck up, you have to pay her. That's literally, you got to continue to pay for her because you're responsible for her. Therefore, you own that. It's that simple. Like, how is this not, you know what I mean? Like, yo, that's property that literally gets transferred to the state once it leaves you, because the state will then take money from you and give it to her. Like, yo, again, that's how property works. Legitimately. It's no different than a building or a car or anything of this nature that's transferred to the state. You go, okay, well, then I have to care for this. You know what I mean? Like, yo, afterwards, you're like, oh, well, you know, we're going to keep taxing you on this because, like, yo, you're responsible for it. It's that simple.
I think it is misogyny.
I understand why some people can be very offended by what I say. What they do is they take a point like that and they ignore all the other points I make the other way around.
Yeah, but that's why I've repeatedly asked you about that line to see if you've changed your position. But the reality is you haven't.
It's not about changing positions. I'm a full-grown adult, and I stick by the things I say, and I'm responsible for them.
Which is always fine.
Absolutely.
But what you did say at the start of this little exchange, you said, you know, I wouldn't maybe say things the same way now that I did before I was famous. And yet, actually,
yeah, that's the mealy mouth shit I'm talking about, man. Like, yo, Tate needs to just like stand his fucking ground. Like, yo, fuck y'all. This is how the fuck I feel about things because this is how you treat things. So therefore, this is how I'm going to act. Once you change the laws to get to the point where you're treating women like fucking full-grown adults, we can have a goddamn conversation about them being full-grown adults and not being fucking property. Let's keep rocking.
Doubled down and said exactly the same thing.
On certain points.
So that is what you believe. That's my point.
Yes.
I'm trying to work out, look, I don't know you. We've just met, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out who Andrew Tate is and what you actually believe. I don't want to twist anything at all.
Then let me make it very, very clear to the camera. I believe a woman is given to the man in marriage. I believe that. I also believe a man has a duty to protect and provide for her. I believe a man should lay down his life if something happens or his wife's life is threatened. I believe that women and children first are on the lifeboats.
But men,
I believe that men...
But a man doesn't own a woman.
It's not, no, it's okay.
Unless they literally buy them as a slave.
Yes, he does. Right? That's how it's supposed to work. Right? Legitimately, like, yo, you're supposed to own that female. Right? In the end of the day. And we're going to get into this like here in a second. You know what I mean? Let's keep rocking though.
Well, obviously, we're not talking about that. We're talking about religious.
Because like when it really comes down to it, like it's no different than a contract. You know what it is? It's like having a dog. That's really what it is. Like, yo, when you get that dog, like you own that dog. You're the owner of that dog, literally. Like no person would look at that and go like, yo, would look at the relationship between a man and this fucking dog and go like, yo, it's no other relationship than as a fucking like a owner and, you know what I mean, a piece of property, right? I mean, like, even though it's alive and all the bullshit, you know, like, oh, you can't mistreat it, which is fucking dumb, right? You know what I mean? Like, where I come from, like, I grew up on farms where, like, you know, if a dog turned or a dog stood here and, you know, I mean, like, got injured too badly, you'd shoot it, right? Because, like, I'm not paying $10,000, you know what I mean, for a vet bill for a fucking dog. But, like, so it's, like, if the animal people, like the ASPCA or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, like your local, you know, dog patrol, I don't know what you call them, right? Dog catcher has to come and catch your dog, right? They send you a bill because that's your dog. It's your property out here. If your dog goes and bites somebody, you have to pay for that. Just like if your wife is in the car that you bought her, right? And she hits somebody, right? You're the one paying that fucking bill. Like, this is kind of like the whole point of this fucking shit. Is like, literally, like, yo, they look at you and they go like, if your wife owed taxes, you have to pay that. If your wife owes a fucking college tuition debt, you have to pay that. Like, literally, like, yo, you are responsible for the things that she fucking does. And it's the same goddamn thing. It's the same premise as having a fucking dog or a pet, right? In a relationship legally. You know what I mean, I'm not saying like you should be fucking your pets, but like, you know, that's what females do. But like, again, like, you know, it's the same goddamn relationship legal standing wise. And this is the goddamn point. Let's keep rocking.
Biblical marriage. We're talking about something else.
Yeah, but I'm a Christian. I don't believe that I own my wife.
Do you believe your wife was
You're not a Christian then if you don't believe you own your wife.
given away to you when she took your last name?
I believe that there is a process where a father traditionally walks his daughter down the aisle and hands his daughter to this man, and they stand there and become a union of two love.
He's handing over property to the dude. like Jesus Christ.
So
in a partnership, no. There's no ownership involved.
I didn't say
he's not selling her. The father of the bride isn't selling his daughter.
No, absolutely.
That's what property.
I mean, like, yo, there's, you know what I mean, dowries and shit, you know what I mean, there used to be anyway. Like, a female used to come with, like, a bunch of stuff. And traditionally, you know what I mean, like, females were given away as political bargaining. And still today, that fucking shit happens where you have marriages of political convenience, you know what I mean, between two families to make things proper, right? And it is seen as a form of fucking payment in a lot of fucking places, even in America and Europe and Britain today. You know what I mean? This is not like an unheard of fucking thing. And it's not chauvinistic to say this type of shit because, again, like, yo, like, as much as I tell motherfuckers, like, yo, dude, you're the fucking prize. You know what I mean? You got to be that motherfucker who's like, you know, like, I'm that motherfucker. Yo, you're here because I'm that motherfucker, right? Like, she's still, you know what I mean? Like, at 18, 19, 20 years old, she's still beautiful and gorgeous and, you know what I mean? Like, perfect and pristine. And in that, you know what I mean? Like, it breeds the ability of her to be able to have a high value to be looked at as a prize. So let's keep rocking though.
She becomes a member of your family. I think we're arguing over semantics.
We're not, though, because fundamentally, I don't believe a man owns a woman. You do.
Well, I don't think a man owns any sovereign individual. I don't think we live in the world of slavery. I don't own any man or any woman.
Man, listen, stop being mealy mouth and just say, yeah, I believe you own your female. Like, that's yours. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Like, another dude comes and tries to fuck my bitch, I'll break his fucking jaw. You know what I mean? Like, that's the mentality, right? Just out of, you know what I mean? The fact that, like, it's sheer disrespect. I mean, because that's my private. It's like somebody driving my car. It is literally no different for a dude to steal your wife and steal your car. It's the same fucking mental, right? Now, today, in this modern day and age where we understand, like, that, you know, shit is fucked up in the system as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, it's real hard to stand here and have that mentality of, like, I'm going to commit violence in order to stand here and maintain my property, right? Because of the fact that, like, we've created this system where we allow women to be free for economic means, right? This is something that, you know, we have to, like, address in our society as a whole. But, like, that's ultimately, like, what it's supposed to be. So let's keep rocking though.
Right. Nobody owns it.
When you use phrases like property, that's what you imply.
I understand.
And so my point again is, you're a smart guy, right?
Correct.
There's no denying that. You're a smart, you're a good talker. I've seen a lot of the stuff. But what I don't think you quite fully understand.
No, I understand very well.
When young, impressionable people
I understand
who are
very
not
well.
as smart see things like, I think my sister is her husband's property, yes, and you've just reaffirmed that belief. They think that they have the right to own women.
I understand that very well, Piers.
That's why people think you're a misogynist.
Completely. I understand all of this very well, which is why when you're saying I was backtracking, I'm not.
Do you have any regret, though, over the way you phrased this stuff?
Well, this is the point I was trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, when I was not nearly as famous and I was making long format content, I was not sitting there anticipating I'd become the most Googled man on the planet and that a few seconds could be taken out of context. That was not my anticipation.
No, but it's still what you believe. It's what you believe now. So what's the difference?
It's not about, you're asking me, you're saying that young people who are
If you said to me, look, Piers, honestly, I've had time to think about this and I wish I hadn't said it, I don't believe that. That's one thing. Actually, you said the opposite. You said, actually, that's what I think, yeah.
I think that when
Well, like, yo, man, listen, just stand by your fucking words. Like, real shit. Just say, yeah, this is what I believe. Stop being a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you're not going to get back on these goddamn platforms. Like, once you're banned, you're fucking banned. No one's ever came back. Like, just own that fucking shit. For fuck's sake, be a fucking man and own it. Tate's such a little fucking bitch that he's going to back off and act like a fucking pussy. This shit's fucking retarded. Like, yo, for fuck's sake.
It doesn't really matter whether you recorded it when you're famous or not famous. It's what you actually believe, right?
I believe that a man has a duty to protect and provide for a woman. I believe that a woman's father gives her away to the man. That's what I believe, and that's in my marriage. That's the circumstance I'm going to live under. If people want to live in a different scenario, that's completely theirs. Their prerogative.
You went on to say about authority over women. If I have a responsibility over her, I must have a degree of authority. Yeah. For the same reason, if I have responsibility over and people are going to use their mind, it's an example, an analogy, responsibility over a child, I have to have some authority. Yeah. So you believe as part of your ownership or your property of the woman, you have authority over her.
No, when you're responsible for something, and like, yo, he's going to say some dumb shit, right? When you're responsible for something, you have to have authority over it. That's a basic ass thing, right? Just that simple. Right? Like, you can't just let your wife just spend all of your fucking money on your credit card, right? You have to take that away from her at some point, you know what I mean? Because, like, she's going to end up bankrupting you. Like, again, if you're responsible for somebody, you have to have authority over them, right? It's a very basic fucking premise, you know what I mean? Like, yo, if I'm responsible for my family, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, if I stand here and, how do I put this? If my wife is doing drugs, right? And, you know what I mean? Like, she's fucking up the kids. It's my responsibility to stand here and have the authority to go like, no, you're not going to do drugs, or B, like, I'm going to stop you from doing these type of things. It's a very simple fucking thing as a whole. It's very basic. Like, yo, because you know what? You're going to pay for that. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you're the one who's responsible, and your kids are fucking paying for this. And you're responsible for your kids. And, like, you owe your kids the fucking ability to stand here and correct your wife when she's doing something wrong. It's a very basic ass premise. You know what I mean? But, like, yo, this shit here, right? And because, like, the moment you would say that, you'd be like, well, what about, well, this isn't about men. This is about my fucking views on what your authority is in your fucking household. Like, if I'm paying the goddamn bills, that means that I have to stand here and make the decisions about how shit goes. You know why? Because I'm responsible for it. It's very simple. This is a very basic fucking premise, right? Like, it's like, all right, so If your boss came up to you, right, and said, like, yo, you got 8 dudes, you have to get this done, but you don't have the right to have any authority over those people. You can't make them do anything, right? You might as well quit your fucking job, right? Legitimately, because, like, if you don't have any authority to get anything the fuck done, you don't have the ability to go, like, no, you have to do it this way, right? You're never going to motherfucking stand here and get anything the fuck done. And you're going to end up losing your job because it's your responsibility to stand here and get this project done with these 8 people who legitimately don't have, you know what I'm saying, or don't have like any respect for you as a whole because you don't have any authority granted to you. Simple. It's a very basic thing. Let's keep rocking though.
Well, I believe if you have
That's what you said.
I believe if you have responsibility over something, you have to have a degree of authority or you can't be responsible.
Yeah, but authority means, again, that you're the boss.
The point I'm making, if you'll please let me finish.
Yes. Say, yes, I'm the boss. Just say, yes, I'm the boss. That's all you have to do is say, yes, I'm the boss. Stop backtracking, stop being a bitch, and stop letting them fucking bully you. Say, yes, I'm the goddamn boss. Like, yo, for fuck's sake.
Sure. This point. The point I was trying to make was talking about the safety of a woman. She was walking alone at night, and I was saying, well, I wouldn't let my woman walk alone at night. And they said, well, you're not in charge of her. You don't get to decide what she does. I said, I understand, but if I'm responsible for her safety, and I'm the person who's burdened with making sure she is safe, I have to have the authority to say, don't put yourself in unsafe situations. The two things are linked.
Well, you don't have authority. You have you can absolutely have the...
No, you have the authority. Like, yeah, nah, you ain't fucking leaving. Like, it's that simple. I want to go. No. Simple. I'm going to go. You gonna walk your ass where you need to fucking go, and you're not going to take any of my fucking money, bitch. Like, legit. Or I'd say, no, you're not leaving the fucking house. Fuck out of here with that goddamn bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Is that fucking simple and shit? You know what I mean?
Right to say to the woman you're with, I don't think you should, but ultimately...
If she decides, then I can't force her.
Right, so authority implies that you have the ability to control someone.
No, authority implies that I have the moral right to sit and say that that's an irresponsible thing to do, and I'm responsible for it.
That's not what authority means.
Well, I'm not going to... If you think I'm going to lock somebody up in their...
I would absolutely, like, yo, legitimately, I caused many a YouTube stream saying, yes, I would chain a bitch to a radiator if she was doing drugs. Like, real shit. If you're fucking up the world, right? If you're fucking up my fucking family and you're doing drugs and we got kids here, all that type of shit, right? I will chain you to a goddamn fucking radiator to stop you from doing fucking drugs. It's a very simple thing, right? Real shit. Like, it's my family. It's my responsibility. You need to stop people from fucking harming themselves and harming your fucking kids. Simple. Who's more important? My fucking children or that fucking broad? My children. Who am I responsible for? My children. Who am I also responsible for? My wife. You know what? You're going to stop her at any means necessary to motherfucking make sure that she doesn't fuck them, you, or herself to fuck up. It's that simple. You have the right to stand here and force her to motherfucking make the proper goddamn decision when it comes down to major fucking things. Now, that's not saying you're just going to dictate her life to her. No, but you're going to stop her from doing shit that's going to fuck everybody. It's that simple. Authority, responsibility has to motherfucking match. That's a problem that we have in most modern day fucking marriages and relationships today is the fact that you have all of the responsibility and none of the authority.
Room. Is that what you're implying?
No, I don't think you know what authority means.
I know what it means. I'm saying that if I
just a different description of what authority.
If I have responsibility for her safety, then I have to have the authority to tell her not to do unsafe.
Yeah, but authority means that you have some form of control over this woman.
I think you're trying to. What you're trying to.
I'm only trying to get to what you think. Honestly, I am. I come with no agenda.
You're getting bullied in the motherfucking leftist perspective because, you're being called out on the goddamn carpet and shit, and you're being a bitch. Real shit. Andrew Tate is bitching up. That's what's going on right now. He's fucking being a bitch. Real shit. Just say the fuck it is you need to say. Man up. All these fucking dudes out here oh man, yo, Andrew Tate, he's that fucking dude and da-da-da. No, what's he doing now? Mealy mouth fucking backtracking bullshit. Real talk. Yo, look, man, it's getting long. Yo, Tom P's Pinoy News. Y'all know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe, motherfuckers. Man, listen, share this bitch out. You know how it works. Yo, peace be like.